We're often told to chase the light, to look for the silver lining, to stay positive, to pick ourselves up and move on quickly. But what if true strength doesn't come from turning away from the darkness, but from walking straight into it, eyes open, heart pounding, spirit shaken, but still willing? What if the real path to success isn't paved with relentless optimism, but with grit, pain, and a deep, raw honesty about where we've been? This isn't a story wrapped in a neat bow. It's not about fairy tale comebacks or overnight transformations. This is about real people who crashed, who broke, who lost everything, and who chose not just to rise, but to rise harder. Take Robert Downey Jr., once celebrated as a rising star, then dismissed as a cautionary tale. At one point, he had it all: talent, fame, opportunity. But behind the curtain was a man at war with himself. Addiction gripped him relentlessly. He spiraled through years of drug abuse, public meltdowns, arrests, and failed attempts at recovery. Hollywood stopped calling. Directors didn't trust him. Studios saw him as a liability, not an asset. The world watched him fall not once, but over and over again. It was heartbreaking. He didn't just lose roles or fans, he nearly lost his identity. But here's the part we don't talk about enough. He didn't give up. He faced the wreckage of his life, and he did the unglamorous, brutal work of rebuilding. Rehab wasn't a one-time fix. There were relapses, there were stumbles, there were moments when even he doubted if he could really come back. But he kept going. He didn't erase the past. He carried it with him. He didn't pretend it hadn't happened. He let it shape him into someone stronger, more grounded, more aware. And when he finally got another chance, not a big budget film, but a modest opportunity to prove himself, he took it. Slowly, steadily, he began to rebuild trust, reputation, and belief. And then came Iron Man. That role wasn't just a comeback, it was a transformation. Robert Downey Jr. didn't just return to the screen, he changed the game. He became the face of one of the most successful franchises in film history. He became a symbol of resilience, of redemption. He didn't rise despite the darkness, he rose because of it. That's the truth we often miss. Our scars don't make us weaker. They remind us of what we've survived. The darkness doesn't destroy us. It can forge us into something more powerful, more compassionate, more human. Success isn't always shiny. Sometimes it's gritty, messy, and born from pain. But it's real. And so was his. We often admire success as something polished, pristine, and perfectly planned. But real greatness is rarely born that way. Sometimes it's shaped in silence, in sorrow, and in the lonely hours where no one is watching. Take Oprah Winfrey. Today, she's a global icon, a billionaire, a media mogul, a voice of empathy and empowerment. But her beginning was anything but glamorous. She was born into poverty in rural Mississippi, raised by a teenage mother, shuffled between homes, and often left to fend for herself. As a child, she endured repeated abuse, physically, emotionally, and sexually, the kind of trauma that leaves invisible wounds and often silences voices before they ever get the chance to rise. But Oprah refused to be defined by what was done to her. She didn't bury her pain. She didn't pretend it never happened. Instead, she brought it into the light. She used her voice not just to tell her own story, but to help others tell theirs. She spoke to millions with honesty, vulnerability, and power, building a career not on spectacle, but on connection. Her journey was never linear. There were rejections, heartbreaks, and moments of self-doubt. But she kept choosing truth, and that truth became her strength. From local newsrooms to the heights of television history, she built an empire not just of wealth, but of wisdom. She didn't just succeed, she transcended, and she took millions with her. Then there's Keanu Reeves. Quiet, humble, understated. In a world obsessed with celebrity drama, he stands apart not just for the roles he's played, but for the life he's endured. Behind the stoic presence is a man who has carried more grief than most know. In 1999, his daughter, his first child, was stillborn, a tragedy that could shatter even the strongest. Just weeks later, the baby's mother, Jennifer Syme, was killed in a car accident. In the span of months, Keanu lost a child and the woman he loved. And yet, through heartbreak, he never lashed out, never courted sympathy. He didn't turn his pain into spectacle. Instead, he walked through it quietly, gently, with a strength so rare it barely made headlines. He continued to work. Not with fanfare, but with focus. Slowly, he built a reputation not just as a talented actor, but as a profoundly decent human being. Stories surfaced of him giving up salary to support crews, taking pay cuts so others could be hired, riding the subway like anyone else, sitting on the street with a homeless man to share food and listen. He became more than a star. He became a symbol of humility, of dignity, of choosing kindness even when life is cruel. Both Oprah and Keanu remind us that greatness isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you survive. It's about what you carry and what you choose to become in the face of pain. They are proof that broken hearts can still lead full lives, that scars can still shine, and that sometimes the strongest people are the ones who never asked to be but rose anyway. All of these people, Robert Downey Jr., Oprah Winfrey, Keanu Reeves, faced darkness. Not just once, not just in a single dramatic moment, but over and over again, in different forms, in different seasons of their lives. Addiction, abuse, grief, rejection. Each blow could have been the end of their story, and for a moment or many it felt like it might be. But they didn't run from the darkness. They didn't deny it, mask it, or numb it. They faced it. They stood inside of it, looked it in the eye and said, "I'm still here." And in doing so, they discovered something deeper than success. They found meaning. Pain taught them what winning never could. It taught them patience, perspective, compassion. It didn't show them how to avoid struggle. It showed them how to endure it. It didn't teach them how to be perfect. It taught them how to be real. They rose not in spite of their scars, but because of them. Not with spotless stories, but with stories stained by loss and redeemed by courage. Their journeys remind us we don't have to have it all together to move forward. We don't have to be unbroken to be worthy. And the darkness we face does not disqualify us. Sometimes, it prepares us for something greater than we ever imagined. If you're in a dark place right now, know this. That doesn't mean you've failed. It doesn't mean you're broken beyond repair. It doesn't mean you're weak or lost or behind. It means you're human. It means life has pressed pause on the illusion of ease and is inviting you into something deeper. It means you're being shaped slowly, painfully, but purposefully. Darkness is not the end of your story. It may, in fact, be the part where everything begins to change, where the old version of you begins to fall away, not because you're losing yourself, but because you're beginning to discover who you truly are. This isn't about pretending to be okay. This isn't about smiling through the ache or rushing through the hard parts. You don't have to escape the darkness. You don't need to numb it, run from it, or fear it. You have to walk through it, step by uncertain step, with shaky hands, tired eyes, and a heart that doesn't know how but keeps beating anyway. because the other side isn't just the return of the light. It's the emergence of something far more powerful. Clarity, strength, wisdom, a deeper you. When the world gets quiet, when the masks fall away, when there's nothing left to prove. That's often when we meet ourselves for the first time. Not the version of us we show to the world, but the real one, the resilient one, the one forged in the fire. And maybe, just maybe, what you'll find in the dark won't be the light you were chasing, but the person you were always meant to become.